Every spring, a single paper cherry blossom appeared on the same old park bench. No name, no note, no explanation. For 11 years, Ethan wondered who kept leaving it there. Until one spring, he arrived earlier than usual. And finally, he saw her. The girl who had been silently keeping a promise he didn't even remember making. Ethan Brooks, a thoughtful, kind-hearted young architect who notices small details others ignore. He loves quiet places and has visited the same city park every spring since he was 13. Clara Hayes, a talented art student who creates delicate paper flowers by hand. Quiet, creative, and deeply sentimental, she believes some promises don't need words to survive. The last day of middle school, it was the final afternoon before summer vacation. The school held a small spring fair inside the botanical garden. Students laughed, took pictures, and wrote goodbye messages in yearbooks. Ethan wasn't interested. He sat alone on an old wooden bench, folding paper into random shapes. A gust of wind carried one folded paper flower across the path. Someone ran after it, a girl with long chestnut hair. She picked it up and laughed. "You almost lost my cherry blossom." Ethan looked confused. "It's paper." She smiled. "Real flowers disappear. Paper remembers." That was the first time Ethan met Clara. The two spent the afternoon making origami flowers together. Before leaving, Clara handed Ethan one perfect paper cherry blossom. "If life ever gets too busy, come back to this bench every spring. I'll leave one flower here, so you'll know someone still remembers." Ethan smiled. "Even if we never meet again?" She nodded. "Especially then." He carefully placed the paper flower inside his notebook. Neither of them imagined how quickly life could change. A week later, Clara's father accepted a job overseas. She moved away without saying goodbye. The only thing she could keep was the promise. Every spring, she secretly mailed herself back to the city, walked into the park, placed one handmade paper blossom on the bench, then quietly left. She never knew Ethan came every year too. Always a few hours later, always missing her. By minutes, over 11 years, their lives changed. Ethan became an architect. Clara became a paper artist whose exhibitions amazed thousands. Neither stopped returning. Each spring, the bench held one new blossom. Each spring, Ethan took it home. He never understood why. But he couldn't leave it behind. Soon, an entire glass box in his apartment held 11 paper blossoms. Each one slightly different. Each one folded by the same careful hands. One year, Ethan woke before sunrise. Something inside him whispered, "Go earlier." The park was still quiet. Morning mist floated over the grass. Then he saw someone walking toward the bench. A young woman carrying a small white box. She gently placed a paper blossom on the wood. Before she turned away, Ethan spoke. "Have you been doing this every spring?" She froze. Slowly, she looked back. The notebook he still carried fell from his hands. Inside lay the very first paper blossom she had given him at 13. Clara smiled through tears. "You kept it." They spent hours talking. Laughing, remembering, Clara confessed she had returned every single year. "I always thought I was too late." Ethan laughed softly. "So did I." Both had stood at the same bench. Every year, separated only by time, sometimes minutes, sometimes hours, never knowing. The following spring, they returned together. Instead of leaving one paper blossom, they folded two. They tied them together with a thin red ribbon. A little girl passing by asked, "Why two?" Clara smiled. "Because promises are easier to keep when someone keeps them with you." Years later, people visiting the park noticed something strange. Every spring, 2 paper cherry blossoms appeared on the old bench. No names, no explanation, only a tiny handwritten message beneath them. Some promises don't fade with time. They bloom, one spring at a time. If this story warmed your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still believes that true love is built on the promises we choose to keep. Sometimes, the smallest promise becomes the greatest love story of all.